That's it! Oh! And we're off to the west coast, South Island, New Zealand. Please come along for the ride. Here's the viaduct. So we are in Ross on the west coast. We're here for the long weekend doing a club trip with the South Canterbury 4-wheel drive club. At the Top 10 holiday park, we've got this wee converted container for the weekend. It's a neat wee unit, very tidy. Been a lot of rain here lately, so it could make today's trip up the Mount Greenland track interesting. Pictures of blue sky, hopefully the day does improve. Got the trusty Safari, she's a pretty standard machine. Meeting the club, South Canterbury club, very shortly. We all gathered at the Ross pub. We have Rob in the Safari, Brendan in the Jeep, Eric Safari, myself Safari, Lockie the Zook, Cameron in the Prado, and Graham in the G-Wagon. So we headed up into the track. It's barely a stone throw from the pub, the start of this track. You soon start climbing your way up into the hill. First obstacle was this corner which had a large washout to the left, and everyone managed to get around this just fine by staying hard right. The track continually climbs up into the hill. There's lots of little places that test your flex, corners, part washouts. Makes for an interesting drive in. don't know the history to this old Mitsubishi ute, but someone may have the answer for us. It added a wee change to the scenery as we carried on up. No one in this group had done this track before. Other than seeing a couple of videos, we didn't really know what to expect. So come to this opening, big ruts, lots of mud. Everyone's out for a look to see the best line.
So this is how many people it takes to try and work out the best track. It's a waiting game to see how many of them get stuck.
A little more. You're right, you're right. Happy off your hook?
Hey?
Happy off one of your side hooks?
Yep.
Right, we're going to have to see.
So next up was a large water hole that we could tell was quite deep. So I went in first, as I have the best winch, pulled the rope out and got it ready for a pull, which was needed. So we edged the way in and the truck soon was bellied. Anyway, the rope was hooked and we carried on.
Successfully pulled the tree over, but amazingly it seems to be holding. Did not think that was going to hold. We got lucky there.
Now that I was through, I could pull the next truck through, and so on. Some made it through and some didn't, as you're about to see.
About 2 metres.
A bit of rope work going on here.
Here we go, half a metre. Righto, coming tight.
Pressure's on. I found a better line. Oh no, hang on. That didn't work. Oh, hang on. Right, we're bellied. Carrying on up, negotiating more small rock steps and tight corners. The camera doesn't really do it justice. It's quite a neat track. And then we get to the rock step that everyone had been looking out for. So I nudged into it quietly just to get the feel of it. It had a great big washed out hole underneath it. Probably stands about 4 foot high. Wet, greasy. It is quite a wee challenge, especially for a truck with no lockers. Found the right line and soon pushed up. She popped up quite nicely, but as I got to the top, the slippiness of the rock spun me around. I was basically sideways to the track. With zero traction and steering back down at the drop would just come up, I was going nowhere. I tried a wee manoeuvre, it didn't work, and then bop, that was my tail light. Next up was Rob, and using the same anchor point that I had, he pulled himself up nice and slowly. Job done well. Quite the wee greasy step, bit of a challenge today. As you'll soon see, 3 vehicles did actually drive up, and it's pretty much tyre choice that makes this happen. The G-Wagon basically walked up it on the Mickey Thompsons. Eric took a completely different line and basically blasted up it. There we go. And then the Jeep, it struggled a little, but it soon found traction. Wasn't a problem.
Well done, well done.
Yeah, I had to bump that a bit. Camera doesn't do it justice. It's quite a neat step. Jeez mate, the old Safari got further than that.
Yeah, well.
And no lockers.
Back it low enough to go.
Just your heart against the back there, just careful. Oh, one more, no more. Probably those, to be fair, it's probably the tyres letting you down. Chuck a rope on, but don't want it broken. just a little bump there. That's it. Oh, just almost.
It wants it.
Yeah, it does. There she goes. Taking a moment to take in the West Coast bush. It's the perfect backdrop. It's hard to beat. There was quite a hole in this piece of the track. The rear of the SAF was flexing too hard to get any decent traction. So we ended up rock backing the hole and got our way through. So we've gotten as far as this big shaly rocky climb, and the right hand line, which is way firmer rock, heads up here, which is a wee winch for most of these trucks. But the weather's closed in, and there's been a couple of incidents that won't be going on camera that have slowed the day down, so we're going to turn around here and head back down. It's been a great wee challenge all the same.
Yeah, you don't go and find that's what it happens everyone. Yeah, I'll just climb down the rock from here.
Coming back through all the mud was basically a rinse and repeat, but we got everyone through, no problems. So that was a fun-filled day up the Mount Greenland track. It's now the following morning, but we got back in reasonable time before it got dark. Had to flush out the radiator. We were getting rather warm on the road out, but other than that, I think everyone had a good day. Some of them thought it was a bit challenging, and it was for just sort of standard trucks, even for this thing here with no lockers on 33s. Anyway, we're going to head off, so have a look at the next video where we head into Cockeye Creek. Cheers.